get into it.
Yo, nah, bro. Bro, you was crazy. You too. You date a man that lives at his mom's house. Yeah, yeah, but it depends why they're living there. If they're moms and they just don't want to leave, but if they're just trying to save money to they have goals, then yeah. I love you. Hey there. Everybody tell you look good today? Well, there's always tomorrow. Got him. It may not come when you want, it may not come when you think, but it's gonna come, and it's always gonna catch up. But don't feel bad for women like her, because they spent the whole year long letting Chad and Tyrone dig out and deck their guts. Now, those guys are nowhere to be found. Go figure. I genuinely think that men progress from breakups while women regress from breakups. And what I mean by that is that when typically women initiate breakups, we know this. I mean, how many of you guys have been broken up with? Probably one or two times in your lifetime, but you probably broke up with majority of the time the guys when they break up. So the thing is that when guys get broken up with, they understand that they were inadequate to a degree. When women break up with a guy, they felt that they were too adequate for that guy to a degree. But the problem is that what girls don't realize is you break up with that guy, well, now you got another notch in your belt. You've dealt with some, trauma to some degree, right? Trauma typically builds men up, but it hurts women. And then
I'll pause it at that one right there. That's a good point to make. Good day. Peace and blessings, first and foremost. Thank God for the day, the opportunity, Like I said, my disclaimer and my only one I give is I would love things to be better with men and women, but none of us was raised to be with each other. None of us, male or female, two parent, one parent, stayed with your grandmother, came up in foster care. None of us were taught from day one of being able to process and understand information that we were being groomed into being a husband, being a wife, being someone who knows how to deal with other people. It was all about the rules and shit at your house. You had to follow the rules at your house. You had to follow the rules at school. You had to follow the rules of whoever house you went to as a child. It was about following the rules, going to school, getting your education, doing what you were supposed to do, cleaning up, taking a shower, eat. You know what I'm saying? It was teaching us how to be, some of us decent motherfuckers. And now we're out in the world, away from our parents, away from those who raised us, that didn't give us any really insert into the mistakes and the tragedies of being an adult and dealing with this man and woman shit. Now we out here going at it like we should even be fucking with the people we fucking with. Nobody want to talk about that. Most of you have children with somebody you shouldn't even been sleeping with. But we live in a world where you don't have to sign any type of contracts. It's no responsibility to just be with somebody sexually. It has caused a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, in a lot of our lives. And we just keeping it going because we don't want to face the reality. We don't want nobody to throw up the facts in our face for some reason. But let's talk about it.
Of that, you're going to go ahead and try to get another guy. But as you get older and you get more experience as a woman, your value goes down. And oh my God, that's fucked up. Well, I don't make the rules, I just report them. Men typically value inexperience while women value experience. Men want a girl that's inexperienced, women want a guy that is experienced. So does it make you more attractive when you've been in relationships with a bunch of guys and you've broken up with them and etc.? Women typically, but the thing is that we don't tell women the truth. That the more bodies you collect, the more relationships that you're in, the more trauma that you suffer, it makes you worse. No, it makes me stronger. No, it makes you worse because some other guy's gonna have to come in and deal with those broken pieces. Now, you know what I mean? You might even hate men. Struggle builds men, it destroys women.
Can I have some advice?
Sure.
Why do you think I only get rejected by ugly girls?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, do you want to go out sometime?
City boy! City boy!
Well, you can't afford to date. That's the whole point. The whole point for the woman doing that is to show you cannot afford a wife, you cannot afford to date, you can't afford to procreate. Therefore, they're telling you you are a waste of a male body. And unless you get your money up, unless you can't afford to do this, okay? That's our job. Our job is to make you into the man that you're supposed to be able to be a provider, husband, father. We can't take you on. We can't procreate with you if you're not going to be able to sustain our lifestyle. We can't do that.
Your lifestyle.
Expertise matters, but so do results.
It's
Our
crazy.
law firm.
Bitch say anything out loud, but our lifestyle. Who the fuck you supposed to be? The fake ass hair in your head.
What sounds good. They want to say what sounds politically correct. They want to say what's going to put them in the best light to make them seem most respectable. Even if everyone around them knows what they're saying is BS. And I think sometimes that women forget that men see what you are doing. They see how you're acting. They can see how you're carrying yourself. They can see the behavior you're exhibiting. So they see Chad and Tyrone digging, decimating, and destroying your guts simply because you think he's attractive. Simply because he's blowing your back out. He doesn't take you out. He doesn't offer anything except for clapping cheeks. But as usual, once you've been digged down by the game, realize the error of your ways and realize that maybe you shouldn't have been doing all that. That's when these things that you actually been saying this whole time finally start to click. But by then you overplayed your hand. By then it's usually too late. By then the game has chewed you up and spit you out, because in real life there is no reality stone. You don't just get to snap your fingers and make life what you think it should be and think that, well, men are just going to acquiesce to whatever it is that you want. Doesn't work that way. Roll the next clip.
I would say someone with an OnlyFans should not be taken serious in a relationship.
I'd have to agree. Yeah.
Okay, I understand, because, like, let's say you're a guy and your girl got some OnlyFans and she's showing her, you know, private parts of the internet. It's gonna make you feel some type of way.
Not cool, right?
Not cool at all.
Yeah, that's like cheating, I'd say.
You know, I love your answer, because some girls will say this is classified as insecurity, which is not. It's just like
It's
borderline.
respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
As a woman, you need to learn how to flip the script and make everything that man's fault. Even, it don't matter what you do, you need to be able to flip it back on him. Whatever it is, I promise you it can be turned into his fault. He needs to think that everything that's wrong is because of him.
Bitch,
And I'm
who are
telling
you
you, it's gonna
talking
get you
to?
everything you want every time. It never fails. This is a skill that you need to master.
And this is what makes
Get
the
you what
internet
you
so
want.
great.
What do you
Because the
want?
criminal will get online and
deceive?
tell you how they commit the crime, and women like this will come online and expose themselves and tell you exactly who they are. And here's the thing: don't be upset at what you hear. Don't be bothered by the words that's coming out of her mouth. Understand what it is and then adapt. And here's the crazy thing: this isn't anything new. Men already do this. Men know that women will try to manipulate them. Men know that women will try to guilt them so that way they don't have to take accountability for things. This is not shocking breaking news. But yet and still, you always got to appreciate when you get to hear it directly from the horse's mouth. Rolling that
What you
clip.
talking about?
Wow, Stephanie. I can't wait to see you. Wait, nobody texts their friend like that. Wow, get the fuck out of my house, dude. Get out. Get out of my house. Leave. Your legs can take you. Get out of my house. I don't deal with cheaters, bro. Get out. Bye.
Damn.
Adios, amigos.
They'd be like, we're not even together, but I want you to do my nails. I want you to do this, and I want you to do that. Remember? And I was thinking about it, and I was like, and I bet we're gonna have a happy ending too.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel good to hear it this way, but it's prostitution.
It is.
Whether it's the pavement right here, and then we're gonna do it right here in the car, or I want you to get me all these services or things, and then I'm gonna bust it wide open. It's still prostitution. It's a transaction. And what people don't understand is that leads to transactionary love, supposedly. Like, if you do this, then I'll do that. If you do this, then I'll do that. But that's not the arrangement you want. You want this man to love you for you, be there for you, cherish you for you. But the only time he got to enjoy you is if he did something for you.
And this is more proof on why men and women just have so many differences. This would have made her day if she was able to beat this man in a simple push-up contest. But for him, I'll give him credit for even entertaining this challenge because he has nothing to gain from doing this. If he wins, congrats. He beat a woman. Everyone expects it. You don't really get any extra bonus points for doing it. But if she would have won, it becomes a stripe on her belt that she'd be able to reminisce and talk about forever. But why does it always seem to come down to the fact that where women feel like they must compete against men for things? We're different. That's all it is. It's fine that we are. Women have their category of things where they can compete against each other, and men have their category of things where we can compete against each other. The second women start trying to compare and want to go up against men, that's where things go south. And we've seen it time and time again. Sure, there'll be some one-offs of a couple of women who get stand up and compete against the men. But overall, in general, we already know it. It's just biology that most women versus most men, they're going to lose. Specifically when it comes to physical competitions. Because men, we already know, have the advantage. And that's okay. You be great at what you're great at, and we'll be great at what we're great at. Anyway, guys, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. As always, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Hit that like and subscribe button to continue enjoying.
Like, that was a light video. Let me see.
So women of a different nationality tend to be more submissive than black women. And because of that reason, our black men are going to those different nationalities to find a woman. There's no one in the household that your mom is being submissive to. So you don't see that. So when she's raising you, she's teaching you what she knows.
But here's what's really the big problem I have with what she's saying. Those women don't allow men to dictate their level of submissiveness. There could be no father in the home in those cultures also, but those women will just show a level of submissiveness to the men in their family, whether that's their uncles, their cousins, their brothers. It's just a certain level of respect that those women police themselves on having. What's up, YouTube? You already know what time it is. Charles and Charles Podcast. We're back with another reaction video. Let me take care of the YouTube stuff. I'll be quick. The goal is to get to 5,000 subs by October, but I cannot do it alone. I need your support in order to make it happen. It costs you nothing, but means everything to me. So show your support for the channel by hitting that like and that subscribe button for me. And as always, I thank you for each and every one of you. Continued support on the channel. Anyway, without wasting any more time, let's get to the clips.
The women who have thousands of followers and they have people paying attention to them, they typically have a similar appearance. Nowadays, a lot of women have the BBL look, or they have the contour face look, or the high-end, I'm an in-girl type of look. All of it is very, very similar. But we also make the mistake of seeing social media as reality. And a lot of women say this when men comment on the fact that they don't like women who have BBLs. A common response is, well, you guys are always liking their pictures and leaving hearts and stuff like that. Yeah, they're liking their pictures and leaving heart comments and things like that because it's fun to look at. Those are women who are good to look at if you want to get sexually aroused. But are those the women that men are lining up to marry or build a family with? It is what it is.
You know, I do believe she makes a lot of valid points, but I also feel like modern women already know that. They know that that's not what's going to be the outcome most likely if they're out on the social media doing these type of things. But they also understand that they will get that attention that they want to get, and that attention is more instant. You see, back in the day, before social media, before you was able to be on a cell phone 24 hours, you used to have to actually call people up. And when you had to call somebody up and sit on the phone with them for 3-4 hours, if a guy wanted to actually talk to you, he had to actually give you his attention. You had to actually give him your attention for 3-4 hours into the evening, into the night, until your mama kicked you off the phone. And that's how a lot of young women knew that guys were interested in them. That's how a lot of young women were able to feel good about themselves because, you know, guys wanted to call them up and talk to them on the phone and give them their attention. But see, nowadays, you don't have to worry and do any of that. And the best part is for them, they don't have to give you any attention back in return. So they get to take all that attention that they're getting from men but they don't have to return any of that attention back. So that becomes highly addictive for many modern women. When you're getting flooded with DMs and messages telling you how beautiful you are and how gorgeous you look and how have a great day, queen, that becomes very addictive just by nature. Any person will be susceptible to having an inflated ego and an unrealistic view of what their standards should be if they were receiving that every day.
Thank you.
Man or woman, if we're being honest.
Thank you.
The problem, and this is where the problem comes in, is that where now you hear so many modern women talking about, oh, our standards are risen up. Their standards are risen up because of a false reality that they get on social media. And let me say this, if you're basing what your reality is on social media, you need to get off of social media. Social media does show reality, but it almost shows reality in a bit of its most extreme forms many times. And that is something that has really distorted many modern women's expectations and views of what men are and what men are supposed to do and who men are.
I just think it's funny how the tables have turned. It used to be men with such high standards of what they wanted in a woman. But plot twist, these women are demanding more. No longer accepting the bare minimum. No longer accepting bottom of the barrel shit. We have standards now, and these men are hurt by it.
What standards? What standards are men hurt by?
Like, what is she
Y'all don't
talking
want
about?
men. Y'all don't want guys. Y'all
I
want
want
play toys.
simps.
Y'all want shit to play with on your time. Y'all want a machine that works for you. Y'all want a father figure, someone who takes care of all your shit, so that you don't have responsibility, so that you don't take accountability, so that
Thank
you don't
you.
have to
Who the
grow
fuck
up.
is she?
You don't want a relationship, nor do you want a man.
Ooh.
You want to be worshipped 24/7. You want to take, and not give anything. That's what guys are upset about. The fact that a lot of us just want to use them. Play with their emotion. Treat them like fucking pawns. Only be with them if they can give you some material shit. You.
Well, she got
You're in a
down.
truck wreck. Don't.
My God, Amy. Damn, you get money.
They can give you some material shit. You're making it seem like we're leveling up. You're making it seem like we're leveling up. We're bossing up and they're intimidated by it. Some guys are, but most of them, they're not intimidated by shit. They're annoyed and they're tired of it.
You know, bless this young woman's heart because she can't be no older than 24, 25 years old. But I know it's a lot of women who might possibly feel this way. But let me tell you something. She don't know what the hell she's talking about. And if you actually thinking like she does, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Men have always been historically and currently very simple. An old cliche saying used to actually be, and it still holds true today, men can go with living with just 3 things to make a man happy. Sandwiches, sex, and silence. That's all men require from a woman. So this idea that men have always had these high standards, no, that has never been a man's nature. That has never been what men require from women. And this is an exact correlation why so many men are tired of dealing with modern women today. Because from a man's standpoint, he's saying, I don't require a lot. I'm not asking for much from you. Most women, their list of requirements of must-haves far outweighs what men's list of necessary must-haves are. Many men have gotten to the point where they're like, why am I even going to deal with these type of women if I'm not even getting these 3 basic things from you? And then you're also wanting me to sit here and front the bill on everything. You're also wanting me to sit here and pretty much take all this bashing and all this hatred and all this vitriol from you, talking about what I am not doing correctly and how I need to step up and level up and do more. And you're not even doing the bare minimum that I'm asking of you. That is not even a lot to ask. So that's why you find many men who are resorting to either completely feeling like they don't want to deal with women, and then you have others who feel like they're going to just find women who are not in the Western culture, not going to go deal with modern women, passport, lifestyle, that type of thing. This is why this is happening. It's a result of what they're not receiving from women. Please understand this. If women were giving men what they were asking for, men would have no problem with giving women whatever it is that they require. Because our list is not long. And men feel it would be in good faith for women to simply give the little that we ask, since you're asking for so much from us.
So women of a different nationality tend to be more submissive than black women. And because of that reason, our black men are going to those different nationalities to find a woman, find a wife, right? So in my personal opinion, I just feel like those women know where they come from, right? They know their culture. They're taught their culture. And within that culture, it's taught to them that you're supposed to be submissive to your man. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is for negotiation nor debate. That's just what it is, right? And being a woman, being a black woman living in America, right? We know that we are African Americans, right? However, what is our culture? We're not taught African culture. So what is our culture? What are we being taught here, right? In America, what are we being taught? And if you're raised in a single parent household, most women see their mom as independent. They're taught to be independent. You're taught to be dominant. You're taught to take care of yourself and by any means necessary. You're not taught to be submissive. There's no one in the household that your mom is being submissive to. So you don't see that. So when she's raising you, she's teaching you what she knows. And being submissive is not one of them. So now it comes down to everybody's throwing up, and that's why the black man is going to different. Okay. I have no argument for that. It is what it is. However, I have no problem with being submissive, but that is something that we are not taught. So you have to teach yourself that. You have to educate yourself on that. And not every man is going to be worth you being submissive to. He just don't deserve it. The same way that y'all would say a woman got to earn this and she got to prove herself on this and that and that. That's the same thing with men. Not everybody's going to be worth you being submissive to.
I take that.
And because you were submissive to one guy and he wasn't worth it, he didn't deserve it, he didn't appreciate it, he didn't even know what to do with it, that don't mean that you should not be submissive to the next man who is doing everything he's supposed to do.
I respect that.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but y'all let me know. But I said what I said. That's just what it is.
Here's the only problem I have with what she's saying. Those women, they're not allowing men to dictate the level of submissiveness they're going to show and they're going to carry themselves with. Those women show a certain level of submissiveness to their uncles, brothers, cousins, any male figure in their family. So it's not always necessarily the wife, the husband. It can be just the dynamic of male to female where they are going to always show a certain level of respect and a certain level of decorum towards that man, and because of one reason and one reason only that separates many other cultures from the black culture. The women in that culture have always maintained a high level of respect for who and what men are. Plain and simple. If you've ever been around a Spanish household, a Spanish family, for instance, it's the women who police each other in those situations. If you are a guy and you go over to visit your girlfriend and she's Spanish and she sits down and starts eating without fixing your plate, without making sure you're taken care of, without doing everything to make sure you feel like you're at peace and that you're comfortable, her mother or her grandmother will reprimand her and let her know, like, what are you doing? Make sure you take care of your guests and make sure you take care of this man first. This is not a matter of women, black women specifically, having to learn who to be submissive to so they can be submissive to the right man.
No,
this is a matter of understanding what submissiveness is, number one, because I think a lot of women, black women we're talking about specifically here, get the idea of what submissiveness is mixed up. They kind of boil it down to something so simple and plain, such as like, oh, not being able to speak their mind, having to cook, clean, do all the domestic duties, and pretty much have no say. And that's a very elementary way to kind of look at it that doesn't really give you the full picture of what it is to be a submissive woman. A submissive woman is kind of just in your nature of how you carry and conduct yourself as a woman. It's your tonality many times. It's many times how you understand how to maneuver and how to handle situations when you're dealing with your man, so that way you aren't being disrespectful towards him, but still able to get your point across at the same time. So now I will say this, at some point you have to be the one to kind of break the chain and remove all the excuses. It's 2022 now. So at some point you have to be able to say that I'm going to be the one who does something different than what I was shown and taught in the past. And if more women took the mindset of, instead of being so aggressive and confrontational with men, instead of thinking about how they could be more cooperative, that would be half the battle right there. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section. As always appreciate everybody's feedback and support. Show your support for the channel by hitting that like and subscribe button for me. And as always, until next time.
To eradicate its national identity.